The father of a 12-year-old girl has been found guilty of unlawfully procuring a child for sex after letting his 12-year-old daughter marry. The 63-year-old man denied arranging for the girl to marry a 26-year-old Lebanese man in an Islamic ceremony in the New South Wales Hunter Valley last year. Here's reporter Anne Barker. Anne, what was the reaction to the verdict?
Roz, there was no marked reaction from the man involved. We can't identify him, of course, because we can't identify the daughter herself. He's been in the dock, obviously, throughout this trial, which was before a judge only. The judge, Deborah Sweeney, took perhaps an hour to get to the actual ruling of finding him guilty of those two charges. It was fairly clear from anyone listening that he was going to be found guilty, so there was perhaps less of an impact when she actually said the words guilty, if you like. He had, I guess you could say, he looked resigned. There was no noticeable emotion that I saw on his face. As soon as the verdict was actually announced, then the lawyers in the court started talking about sentencing hearings, and there will be a hearing on his sentencing not till the end of May, the 29th of May. So it will probably be about 8 weeks at least before he's sentenced. It's unusual for someone to have a sentencing hearing and the sentencing happen on the same day. So it could be June at least before we hear what sentence he will face.
And Anne, remind us of the details of this case.
Well, the judge has found that the 63-year-old, the family came from the Hunter Valley. He had procured his child for sexual intercourse. She was 12 years old at the time she was married. The father had converted to Islam about 18 years ago, and a friend had told him that another man who'd seen his daughter at a local mosque wanted to marry the girl when she was 12 in an Islamic ceremony, and he had organised for them to meet. He'd rung the girl at the first meeting with this man and asked her if she approved of marriage. Evidence was given in court that she had said yes. There was a bit of disputed evidence about whether she really supported the marriage or not. The father, he's pleaded not guilty all along, and he argued that the girl didn't want to marry the man at first and then changed her mind. He said he tried to stop the wedding. He said he didn't give permission for the girl and the man to have any contact by phone or SMS message. And he said that he wasn't even present at the ceremony, that he wasn't a participant. The judge found that a lot of his evidence, in fact, was difficult to believe, that he was not a credible witness. And she said that, in fact, there was evidence that he had given his approval, that certainly the girl had left on the day of the ceremony and gone with her new husband under Islamic law to a local motel, and they had had sexual intercourse, that the father had facilitated them being together in the full knowledge that they would have a sexual relationship, and it was on that basis that she found him guilty.
And Anne, what's happened to the girl at the centre of the court action?
Well, the girl has been in the care of community service officers for quite some time. Her mother is separated from the husband. They're no longer married, and she did give evidence, but I gather she's not in a position to care for the girl herself. So the girl is in care. She's now 14, and as to her immediate future, it's unclear. I mean, the man she supposedly married has been jailed himself for 7.5 years at least. So whether under Islamic law that relationship would ever take up again once he's released, I think that would be a very difficult question to answer.
Anne, thanks.